Good morning students. This is a video for the students of class 6 subject science. We were studying chapter number 5, that is separation of substances. This is your lecture number 3. Topics to be covered in this lecture are: children, in this lecture we will study some more methods of separation, like first is sedimentation and decantation, and the next method is filtration. So children, sometimes it may not be possible to separate components of a mixture by winnowing and hand picking. For example, there may be lighter impurities like dust or soil particles in rice and pulses. So how can we remove these types of impurity? Like, we can separate the stones from rice and pulses, means the larger impurities, by hand picking. But how can we remove the lighter impurities like dust or soil in rice and pulses? How are such impurities separated from rice or pulses before cooking? Rice or pulses usually washed before cooking, right? We wash them before cooking. When you add water to these, means when you add water to rice and pulses, the impurities like dust and soil particles get separated, right? When you add water to these, the impurities like dust and soil particles gets separated. These impurities go into water, which becomes little muddy. Now what will sink to the bottom of the vessel? Like when you add water to rice and pulses, then what will sink to the bottom of the vessel? Rice or dust? What will sink? Rice. Rice will sink to the bottom of the vessel. Now, what is the reason why the rice will sink? Because the rice particles are much heavier than the dust particles, and the particles which is heavier will sink to the bottom. Okay, and after that we tilt the vessel and remove the dirty water. This is called sedimentation. What is sedimentation? When the heavier component in a mixture settles after water is added to it. Like when we add water to rice, then the rice particles will sink bottom to the vessel, and we can pour out the dirty water, and in this way we can separate the impurities. So this process is called sedimentation. When the heavier component in a mixture settles after water is added to it, this process is called sedimentation. Now this picture shows sedimentation process, in which sand is. In this method, when muddy water is kept undisturbed for some time, then mud settles down, or we can say the soil settles down, and the clear water remains in the upper part, and this can be separated slowly by pouring clean water into another vessel, and the sediments are left behind, means the soil are left behind, which is called sediments. Okay, so in this way we can separate the mud from the water. When the water along with the dust removed, this process is called decantation. Okay, what is decantation? When the water along with the dust removed, this process is called decantation. And the soil or any other impurity which is left behind, that is called precipitate or sediments. Okay, this picture shows the decantation process. So this is all about sedimentation and decantation. If we take a muddy water in a beaker, then the mud particles settles down, means the sand settles down, and we can separate the water which is in the upper part by pouring it into the another vessel. So the first process is sedimentation, and the process pouring clear water into the another vessel is called decantation. So children, we can also separate oil and water from their mixture by using this method. Suppose we have a mixture of oil and water. So if a mixture of such liquids, like if a mixture of oil and water is allowed to stand for some time, then they form two separate layers. And the top, means the top layer, can be separated by decantation. Okay. This picture shows that how can we separate oil and water. You can see in the first picture that oil and water make two separate layers. The top layer is of oil, and the second picture shows that by decantation we can separate oil from water. Okay, by pouring oil into the another vessel, and this is decantation. So sedimentation and decantation method can be used to separate oil and water. Okay. Now our next method of separation is filtration. Now what is filtration? The separation of insoluble impurities with the help of filter paper or filtering medium is known as filtration. Means if we want to separate the insoluble impurities, means the impurities which can't be dissolved in water. So if we want to separate insoluble impurities, then we can use this method, and the separation can be done with the help of filter paper. For filtration, filter paper can be folded twice as shown in the figure. Like, first of all, fold filter paper in half. Okay, and after that, second fold is fold into quarters as shown in this picture, with the top section smaller than bottom, and after that tear off corner of smaller section, and then open this cone. In this way we can make a cone of filter paper. Okay. Now fit this cone in a glass funnel. This is a funnel, and at the mouth of the funnel we fit this cone. we will fit this cone at the mouth of the funnel. Now pour the impure water into the funnel with the help of glass rod. Okay, pour the impure water into the funnel with the help of glass rod slowly. And when you pour the impure water, you will see that the clean water will get collected in the glass beaker and the impurities will be left behind on the filter paper. Means it remains on the filter paper and the water get collected in the glass beaker which is under the funnel. Okay. This picture shows the filtration process. First of all, we fit a cone, fit the filter paper cone at the mouth of the funnel, and after that pour the impure water into the funnel with the help of glass rod. This is a glass rod, okay, in which we pour the impure water. And when you pour the impure water, then what happens? The water get collected into the beaker which is under the funnel, which is kept under the funnel. This is a clean water and the impurities will remain onto the filter paper. In this way we can separate impurities. So students, now we will discuss the homework solution of lecture number 2. Question number 1. When is hand picking method used? So the answer is hand picking method is used to remove larger size impurities, like for removing stones from rice and pulses. We use this hand picking method. Okay, so for removing larger size impurities, hand picking can be used. Question number 2. What is threshing? How is it done? The process that is used to separate grain from stalks, etc., is called threshing. In this process, the stalks are beaten to free grain seeds, and on beating they are get separated from their stalks. It can be done with the help of bullock cart or by threshing machines, okay, like thresher. Question number 3. Give an example of sieving used in everyday life. Actually, there are many examples in which we use sieving method. Like for removing tea leaves from tea, sieving is used. Okay, and if we want to remove the pebbles from the sand, then we can use this method. Okay. Question number 4. Which amongst the following methods would be most appropriate to separate grains from bundles of stalk? Options are hand picking, winnowing, threshing, sieving. So, the correct answer is threshing. Threshing is the most appropriate method to separate grains from bundles of stalk. Okay. Option C is correct. Question number 5. Bhoja's grandfather is suffering from diabetes. her doctor advised her to take lassi with less fat content. Which of the following methods would be most appropriate for preparing lassi? So the answer is churning. Okay, churning is the most appropriate method for preparing lassi. Means option C is correct. So correct option is C. Question number 6 is fill in the blanks. Small pieces of stones can be removed from pulses by, answer is hand picking. Part B, dash are obtained from stalks by threshing. So, what is obtained? Grains. Grains are obtained from stalks by threshing. C part is husk from wheat flour is generally removed by, answer is winnowing. So students, this is your today's homework. Question number 1 is, what is sedimentation and decantation? You have to explain the complete process of sedimentation and decantation. Question number 2 is, how can we separate oil from water? Explain. Means you have to give explanation that by which method we can separate oil from water. Question number 3 is, what is filtration? How can we separate impurities by using this method? Means explain the complete process of filtration. You have to explain complete process of filtration. And you have to write these answers in your fair notebook. So this ends for today's lecture. Thank you.